Morning.
Morning, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Morning, morning. I think today is going to involve a little bit of waiting. Okay, morning, morning. Morning, everyone. On YouTube. So, I think today I'm less inclined to take sales until we start breaking below this minor support that we created in pre-London. Otherwise, the bias is still quite bullish. We can see that the 4-hour candle went bullish. The current 4 hours still open, but there is that chance that this 4 hour, it could flip and then we start to come up to retest these highs. Something that I'm going to be focusing on more. But at the same time, if we do start to create resistance below 144.875, and we start to break down below these minor support, then I think it could be a nice move down, but I'd rather wait for some confirmation for buys. Obviously, above this minor resistance, there's not enough range, but you could argue that if we do close above, then effectively we would be closing above the most recent rejection, and then we have this move up to retest the high. But I think I'd rather wait for buyers above 144.950, because then we're closing above this consolidation. This is a previous area of consolidation and it's pretty messy, so yeah, probably wait for that. And then we have our clear targets based on the higher time frames above this area, so a nice clean range at that point. So we're just gonna have to wait here, because if we take a look at the 15-minute, we're just ranging. 30-minute is still open, so we're just kind of waiting here. Looks like a very good sell to me below 144.76 as price formed lower high on 1 hour chart. Yep. Yeah, agreed. Good sells will be below this area. But we need to wait, because the other thing as well is that it is counter trend too, so we want strong confirmations for sales. Good day, good day. Hope GJ going down. That's a nice range. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice range for sales. The only thing is we need to be cautious of the 144 650 area. Need to be careful of that area. The only thing that worries me is that 4 hour, it's a very strong bullish 4 hour candle. I think it's quite difficult to price to pull all the way back to 144.58. Yes, I would agree. That is why I'm probably going to really exercise patience to wait for proper confirmation for sales. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it really. I personally can't see us heading down because technically, right, we've created support. Technically, we've created support over here. And obviously we made a high, or we, came back to retest this area. And we had like a weak bearish 30-minute candle close over here. So yeah, I mean, I suppose it's a bit of a difficult situation because we need a candle to either close below this area for price to continue down. But even then, I'm not sure if that's exactly the trade I want to take here, because I'd rather start looking for buys. I'd rather look for buys because the trend is bullish. The overall trend is bullish. But this is a very difficult situation because of the ranges we have. These ranges are awful. So the best opportunity is going to be above 145, because then we know that's the point the weekly should start to head up. But it's going to be very difficult to kind of maybe catch buys over there if we have a lot of volume and price starts heading up. But right now we are just ranging, so we got to sit on our hands for a minute. I saw you called that GJ long yesterday. I was in a GU trade. Nice. Okay, let's check out gold over here. Let's do some analysis on gold. So looking at gold, it seems as though the previous daily candle closed above this support on gold. So if daily candle is going to continue moving up, then there's a probability it's going to come up and fill the wick at 1855 and then continue on to the resistance at 1860. Taking a look on the 4 hour. Looking on the 4 hour though, we have a range over here. We have a range, we have resistance up over here. But at the same time, we also have this minor resistance. So we're in this range, and then we have either a move down to this support, or we have a move up to this resistance. Looking on the 1 hour. So 1 hour time frame rejected this support, and now it is closing at the resistance. So yeah, you would need a solid break above this resistance, and then we have a nice clean move up over here. So 30-minute, yeah, it's kind of same range. Yeah, gold buys look good if you can break above that resistance, minor resistance. Yeah, if gold breaks above this 1844 level, it's gonna be pretty good for gold to continue moving up.
Morning guys.
Morning Salim, how's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Nice one.
So 15-minute time frame is ranging. Does seem like since we're breaking the lows that there's could be an impulsive move down, but yeah, I'm gonna exercise that patience and gonna wait for better confirmation trades. So you need to wait for this candle to close. But based on the 15-minute, there is a probability that we will continue moving bearish. What about GA? I don't look at GA, but if you want to send a chart, I'll check out GA. Oh man, tired this morning. On gold, yeah, if gold breaks above 1844, then 1847, something to consider. Yeah, I think so, because this is a rejection wick, previous resistance to the left. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider. But as price is coming up, it does look left, and you know, it sees this clean move coming up. But you know, obviously you always want to be securing profits anyway. So if you look from there to 1847 is around 30 pips, so you could definitely secure positions and then, you know, let it run, etc. So GJ is trying to break down. Let's check out Euro NZD. So daily came back to do a retest of this area, this previous support. So I wonder if we're going to start to come down now to retest these lows, or if we start to break the high, then there's a probability we're going to be back in this consolidation. Looking at the 4 hour, looks as though the 4 hour had like some range, but actually the previous 4 hour candle closed below that minor support. So I think if 4 hour can continue moving down, it should continue down to this support over here. Looking on the 1 hour, yeah, 1 hour time frames also trying to move bearish, but we have a support not so far away. How far away is that? It's like 15 or so pips away. 30 minute time frame, sorry. Yeah, looks like we created a little bit of a resistance at 6 a.m. So a little bit earlier than we would be on the stream. But yeah, this would have been a good place to look for sells, and then for price to continue down. But yeah, if we get a resistance created again on Euro NZD and we reject this area again, I think it could be a good opportunity to take sells to fill this range. Yeah, 1 hour could be doing a retest, and then we continue moving bearish. GU looks very similar to GJ right now. We have a resistance up over here. We have a minor support right over here. And then we have a clean range for sells, but very... yeah, GU is a tough pair. Take a look at Euro JPY. Oh, we're coming up to 8 o'clock here as well. So if I'm looking for sells, probably going to wait a little bit here too as well, because, you know, it's London Open, and, you know, we know that London Open could just take us, you know, straight above these candles and head us up. So, yeah, just going to have to wait patiently here. Probably wait for open to calm down and get a sense of direction. So as we take a look on Euro JPY, daily bias is bullish. We see the dailies, looks like it's creating support, could come up to fill these wicks over there if we have the momentum. Looking on the 4 hour, kind of same thing with GJ, right? you know, looking on GJ, we're closing bullish, but 4 hour is closing back above the support. We have an area up over here. We have a high to retest. So we see the wick fill. Looking on the 1 hour time frame. Looking on the 1 hour time frame, we had a resistance over here. Looks like we need to create some support or do like a retest to continue moving up. 30 minute tried to create support, but it's now breaking the lows. But yeah, we need to respect this area in order for EJ to continue moving up. And then we have a resistance up over here. So it's kind of like a 13 pip range. Not amazing, but that's just EJ. Yeah, and then EJ sells would be below this area here to continue down. It's like a 9 pip range, 10 pip range. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting over here. Take a look at EA, bro. I don't really look at EA, but if you want to send a chart, I'm more than happy to give you my thoughts on the pair. Yeah, I'm not really liking this for sales yet. I have to admit. I think we can remove this resistance. I think we can. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move this down like this. Because this is a rejection area. We tapped up into this vicinity. So this is a range, really. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, remove that. We're going to edit that and say 880. Looks like we're retracing anyway. Yeah, see, if this candle had closed like a stronger bearish candle, I probably would have taken sells, you know, and then could have, yeah, but it just, since this candle closed weak, you know, indicated that, you know, there was not enough volume to break down below the support. There also wasn't enough volume to break above this previous rejection zone. So, I mean, since if we respect the support, right, then, you know, with volume we can break through this and then continue moving up. But we're just kind of waiting here. Morning, Sergio. Oh, is it wanting to close below? We'll see. If the momentum is bearish, is 144,700 problematic area. I wouldn't say 144,700. For me, I'd say we'd have some issues, maybe around 144,660, because this was a previous support from yesterday, and we did a fake out of this area in Asian session. So yeah, I'd probably be a bit cautious of 144,660 to be completely honest. But I mean, yeah, I can see where you're talking about over here, but I think it's okay. But to be honest with you, I'm not really liking these sells. Something's just keeping me away for some reason. I'm not really. The only thing is we have a strong 1 hour close. But is that enough? We're coming up to a strong 1 hour close.
Yeah, I'm not sure about these. I don't think I'll take this.
I don't know what it is. Just some things like making me, you know, think. I bet this candle closes with no wick to the bottom. Oh, it did. It did close with a wick. Okay, so the 30-minute candle did close below. Right, so I mean, let's see how London Open sets up. Because if we start to come back up and break the high right over here, then yeah, I mean, we was right to stay out of these sells. But obviously, if we do run down, then we miss the sells. It is what it is. But at the same time, you know, You got to think about the trend. We could come back to this area, create support, and then, you know, start to head back up again based on the 4 hour. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good idea just to wait. I'm not really, something's just not making me feel good about these sells. Yeah, something just doesn't sit well with me. But of course it could play out. The other thing as well is what I find is if London pushes in a certain direction to start the candle, you know, something like at least 50% of the time it flips to go back the other way. But it looks like it is pushing down over here. But for me, just something was telling me just stay out. Because we can see the trend is bullish. Like, look at the trend, you know, trend is bullish. Yes, we have a candle closing below. Yes, there's a chance that we can continue down, but I'd probably rather wait to see if we can create some support over here and then buy it right back up again, you know, for a correction move. You spelled February wrong in the title. Oh, did I? Thank you for letting me know. I will I'll edit it at the end. But yeah, I mean, we did create resistance, so I had that idea in my head, but this wasn't what I wanted to see print. You know, this wasn't what I wanted to see print. I wanted to see, you know, strong resistance being created. So I think we can remove this here now because it hasn't printed how I would have liked for me to want to take sells. Could we be seeing a pullback before we see a move higher on GJ on a higher time frame? Yeah, it could be the 4 hour creating a deeper bottom wick, 100%. So that's why I'm probably gonna wait here to see if we can, you know, look for buys instead of the sells. But yeah, I mean, it can continue down. So we're just gonna wait here, see. But it does seem like it wants to stay below this area. But we'll see. Nothing to say. Create a little mini resistance there on the 5 minutes. Yeah, maybe it will continue moving bearish. But oh well. I'm happy to miss these sells, because then I know if we start to reject, this support, and we start to see bullish candles forming, we can anticipate this whole move to get corrected, and we're heading right back up. Because if we look at the daily bias is definitely bullish. 100% is bullish. Looking at the weekly can still head up. 4 hour does seem like it's rejecting now, but I mean, in theory, like if we do flip back, we rejected this area in the Asian session. So I mean, I think there's a chance if this 4 hour can flip, that's when we're going to start to see, or even if it closed like a weak 4 hour candle and then the next one starts to break up. So I think just be patient here. Even if I was in sales right now, I'd be like, man, it's just slow. It's just not really. It's just floating profits. Is GJ gonna continue down? I think it might. I think it could continue down, but it definitely will have issues around 144,660. Either way. Since the higher time frame is bullish, would you execute a buy if the current candle leaves a huge rejection if the next 30-minute breaks the top of previous candles, since maybe it can be a fake out? I mean, if we fake out, then we can kind of judge it a little bit. Depends how it closes. But I mean, I don't know. I think I'd rather wait for a break above this area, 144,880, because then we know that we can more than undoubtedly retest this high. But right now, fake out, yeah, you could. It depends. Let's see how it prints, and then we'll go from there. But right now, we're just letting it do its thing. Yes, the 144,650 is quite strong to be broke. Yeah, it seems to be having some issues around this area. I mean, it's quite slow. Like for a London Open, for a first London Open 15 minutes, it's not like a lot of volume, is there? But I don't know. I mean, for all I know, we could continue moving down, and I think there's always, you know, there was confirmations for price to continue down. But it's like, you know, if you really want positions to run well, if you really want to, you know, be a good trader, you have to also be willing to miss certain moves, you know, to wait and be patient. Like look at yesterday's London session. You know, we moved down, we created support, then we just had straight buys, right? Kind of something similar that we could look for, because we had consolidation, moved down, tapped into a support, began the fake out. You know, we could easily, you know, tap into this area, then come back, and that's it. So that's what we're kind of waiting for here. Gold looks like gold is gonna break above over here. It's breaking above the 30-minute high. Yeah, I think gold should continue moving bullish. It's breaking above these highs here. Yeah, or you could wait for the candle to close, of course. That's obviously always the better option. EN's coming back above the range. GU did move bearish. So GU did continue down. It's like 14 pips, 15 pips. So nice easy sells on GU. But again, it was like difficult counter trend. Is GJ moving down now? I mean, yeah, we did have a resistance created, which is what I wanted to wait for sells, but it was this kind of range that put me off. You know, because we didn't just create resistance and then, you know, like a strong candle. Like, we didn't have like this sort of candle up over here, you know, for me to anticipate the next one to continue down. We just had like a range, and then, you know, we had a weak bearish candle, we had a stronger bearish candle, but I mean, just it wasn't really like, I just don't know, it just didn't really feel right to execute on that. I've been looking at 1 minute and first time taking entry. Okay, let's check this chart out. Looks like GJ is going to continue bearish. Yeah, I have to say, I'm not really interested in the sells. Okay, so this is GJ on the 1 minute. Bullish uptrend looking left. Okay, price didn't bearish structure being created. Price didn't respect uptrend structure. Okay, resistance was created and respected bearish structure. Sell was taken. Stop loss was 6 pips above previous high. As price broke below support, I was expecting a pullback to retest as support. That's nice. I like that. Even for a 1 minute, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's nice. Awesome. Let's trade. So yeah, I mean, if you did take sells, you'd be up around like 8. But I mean, it just seems to have like a lack of volume. It's just kind of, I don't know, man. Just doesn't really seem. Doesn't seem right, does it? Oh yeah, we're at this previous other 1 hour area. Yeah, that could be why as well. That's a good point. Nice music. Yeah, man, I don't even know half these songs, man. I just, yeah, so I don't know. I want to play the ones that I've liked because they're the ones that actually sound alright, but it doesn't want to let me do it. So I'll have to go with it. Gold's just still kind of there. EJ. EJ's moving up. Looks like GU did come down to the target level. It's like 17, 18 pips. Euro NZD. Yeah, Euro NZD waiting for like a resistance to form. Man, GJ is struggling over here. It would seem. I think I might go make a drink in a minute. If GJ's not doing anything, get my drink in early. Look at that retracement. What are you getting? Peroni Stella? Yeah, I might have a little beer at 8:30 in the morning. No, I'm joking. No, I'm gonna have a traditional English cup of tea.
Get on the spirits.
Yeah, mate. Bit of brandy. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go grab a drink actually in a minute. 'Cause this is just yeah. Let's answer this one more. GBPJPY is also a triangle pattern from the high of yesterday and the low from also yesterday 8:30. I have no idea what the triangle pattern is, but yeah. I don't know. I just focus on structure and price action. Obviously, the price action, has confirmation for sells, but for me, I don't really like the sells. I don't really like the sells. But if it plays out, I mean, we know how we could have caught sells, right? But my issue with sells is just we have an area here which is like 10 pips away that we could have some issues. Then if we do continue down, okay, then we got good range. But this area is a difficult area. To be honest with you, that's why I just don't like sells, because when it sells, it's like it becomes very difficult. But when it's buys with the trend, you feel more confident in it. So that's why I think it's better to, stick to what you're good at. Too many times I've taken these more aggressive sell entries, and they just don't work out that much. So there you go. So I'm gonna go quickly make a drink. I'll literally be back in a couple minutes. So bear with me, people.
Hey, Wilksy.
Yeah, mate.
How are you doing, alright?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. What are you thinking for sells?
I'm actually
Sells
in
or
them
highs?
now because I saw the 15-minute. If you look on the 15-minute, it's broken below minus support, and I saw the wick up, and I was like, if it flips, I'm going to get in sales.
Yeah, actually, that looks good. To be fair, that looks clean.
Just wanted the extra confirmation for it, really.
Yeah, as long as like you manage it, you should be fine.
Yeah,
Are you aiming for the 144 580?
yeah, pretty much. It's around 10 pips there.
Yeah. You could always secure and leave runners to like 144 430.
Yeah, leave a little runner there.
Yeah. Looking at gold, I mean, it's moving up now, but possibly we might see like a range between 1846 to 1834. Obviously, at 130 we've got the unemployment claims, and we always see like a range before a move happens. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. So it's breaking up now, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that rejection on the 1 hour. If you look on the 1 hour, there's a rejection on gold
Oh, yeah, I see
from
that.
yesterday. Yeah, so I think better buys would be above 1846, 500, 530, because then you'll have
Yeah, it
that.
looks good.
Because then you have that wick on the 1 hour to fill. You've got like 55 pips. And if you leave runners, you possibly could like break the daily high all the way to 1855.
Yeah, nice. At least you're planning it out now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Looks like it's moving good, to be fair, on GJ.
Hopefully, we can at least get a little push in the last 5 minutes.
What's your entry at?
At 685, and I've only got like a 7 pip stop above previous 15-minute.
Yeah. Especially like when you don't have to use like the full 10 pip stop loss, it's even more better, because then, even if it doesn't work in your favor, then, like you're not using high risk.
Yeah, exactly. Like yesterday, obviously like Harrison letting it run. I suppose if you're letting it run when your stop loss is less than 10, then it's you feel more comfortable even letting it hold.
Yep.
Feeling back quite hard now though.
I think as long as it closes bearish below the 144 685, it should be fine. Or like even below 144 700, it should be good for sales.
Yeah, it's definitely lacking a little bit of volume right now though.
Yeah. So the zones that I've got marked up, like looking for sells below 144, 460.
Yep.
But again, like, I'm still a bit wary with London Open.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't know if it's going to pull back or whatever.
But so far, like today, it did have like a nice structure, you know. Like it broke that support and then it just kept doing, you know, lower highs and lower lows. So I suppose that's a good thing. Maybe we get in some sort of volume coming back, you know.
Yeah, I think we've been having quite a lot of volume around like 9, half 9 recently.
Yep.
Yeah, like on the 1 hour, as long as we can start pushing below that area we're having problems at a minute ago, we should be alright.
On the 1 hour.
At like around 700, yeah.
Thinking like possibly even if the 1 hour closed, you know, around 144, 650. I think as long as we respect the high on the 1 hour, like it should be still fine for sales. But what I'd like to see on the 1 hour is to close below 144, 690.
Yeah, I'm happy with the close on the 15 especially. I just managed to respect that 700 level, so
Plus, it left a wick at the bottom, so looks good.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully this will pull back, create this top wick.
The only thing like I would keep an eye on is 144.650, because obviously that's where we rejected last night.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, cool.
30-minute, yeah.
Keep an eye out for that.
If it breaks below, like it literally should be fine, as long as there is no, based on like technicals.
Oh yeah, see that on gold, still close back in the range.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look on the 1 hour, sales look way better above 1846, because then you're closing above all these well, not rejection, but these resistance created previously. Yeah.
Is there much volume in the London session with gold
To
then?
be fair, like there is like on session, like open sessions, there's always a good volume with gold. But I've noticed sometimes where there is like a news, like where there's the NFP. So let's say it's a Friday and there is an NFP. There's always like pullbacks if it's within the range, and you'd always see good moves later on, like around 1:30 or 2 o'clock, depending what time they're releasing the NFPs. But it's got a nice volume on the Asian session sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see you take trades sometimes in the Asian.
Yeah.
I've moved my stops to break even now because it did move up about 8 pips. So hopefully this one I'll just continue.
Yeah, definitely.
I've tapped into like a 15-minute support. So that's probably why it's rejected just right now.
Yeah, it's looking good, to be fair. I mean, it shouldn't really pull back now, right?
Yeah, I don't want
this 30 minute obviously. Yeah.
I'll probably close somewhere around 9 pips just as it taps back into this area, just to play it safe.
I've really well executed, Kelsey.
Yeah, do you know what? I've been seeing a lot recently where like the first 15-minute breaks below supports, and then the next one should normally continue down. But obviously, it was just a bit slow the second 15 minute, the last 30 minute. But yeah, happy with that.
Well done, well done.
Because like sometimes
fair,
I used to hesitate, and I was just like, "Nah, you know what? This time I'm gonna put money on the line."
Yeah, like it really looks good. Like looking on 15 minute, like lower highs and lower lows. It just literally it's just a nice structure. It's like what we've seen. You know that correction because yesterday, after that news from the Bank of Japan, obviously we created like a strong support, strong resistance on the around the NY session. Then we failed to like break below.
Yeah,
we kept rejecting the downside, and then later on the after the London close, I think from 7:30, it just kept like falling on a 15-minute time frame. It just looked like really good for for sales. But obviously, you don't really expect them kind of like pullbacks from around that time. You just expect to see ranges and low volume, but it corrected pretty much nearly the whole move.
Yo. Oh, looks like those sales played out over there.
yeah, I caught some on that.
Nice. Oh, nice. Where'd you get in?
So I got in after the 15-minute close by that minor support there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I waited for the top wick for the next 15 minutes, and when it started flipping, I got in.
Oh, beautiful.
I've closed some positions now because it's reacting off like a 15-minute support.
Yeah.
But I've got a little bit running now.
Oh,
Hopefully,
nice.
I can let it play out.
Yeah, literally, like, I was looking back and I was like, okay, maybe this sell did make sense. You know, there was something I was looking for was resistance below 144.880, and we did get it. But I don't know what it was. Something was putting me off. Maybe it was this 1 hour range to the left. I wasn't sure. Something just didn't sit right. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it did make sense for price to continue down. I mean, we had clean range. You know, we'd have been up around 15, 16 pips. I suppose as well, we were coming into open, and just, yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's fine.
Yeah, it was counter trend as well, so
Yeah, I mean,
got to be more cautious.
yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, looking back, because we did create resistance structure, and then we broke below our minor support, it did make complete sense. I just thought that, we would see something similar to yesterday where we did like a fake out after pushing down, and then we started to drive up. So I mean, that could still happen. You know, we could create support here and then correct this whole move, because this is only 15 pips. You know, for a London session, that's not a lot. You know, if you think about how much we moved down yesterday, it was like around 10 pips, and then we went up the complete other way, 55 pips. So yeah, gold closed back in the range. Did it? Ooh, gold. Yeah, tricky situation. What Forex broker do you use? Vantage FX. GJ sell maybe if it closes below 144,600. Yeah, yes, yeah. You could say that. We do have a clean range after that, but you'd probably want to see some more structure at that point. Awkward chat. What's an awkward chat?
Must have been mine, Salim's chat.
Oh, well,
He wasn't liking it, obviously. No, we're talking about gold and just the trade.
Oh, how is that awkward? They're not talking about their love lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice trade. Yeah, looking back, I should have been in sales, but something was just putting me off. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was right to miss it. Who knows? I suppose, like, you know, in trading, that's a good lesson, is because, you know, sometimes when you're not comfortable at the time, it's okay to miss it. Like, it's okay to miss a move. You know, like in terms of this week, like I'm pretty much breaking for the week, and I wanna obviously adopt my new style from next week. So like it's not. Obviously, I did it yesterday, but I mean properly from fresh week start. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, This is fine, but you know, we always want to see how we could have caught the move. And looking back, yeah, it made sense to sell. And yeah, we had a nice 15-16 pip move. The only issue I had obviously was that area at 144.650, but I mean, it came right down to this Asian low, so what can I say? Haha, it wasn't awkward at all. Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't, yeah.
I mean, if they're listening, then they're gonna hear some things they might be able to take into their own trading.
Yeah, exactly.
So
100%. But guys, on a serious note, we've got 48 people and only 14 likes. What's going on? What's going on? Come on, guys. Let's get some likes going here. Got 50 people and 14 likes. Yesterday we hit 77 likes. So, did Monty quit after everyone jumped in London? No, I don't think Monty's quit at all. I think he's just having some computer issues. But I'm sure he'll still do his thing. I mean, he was the original London session streamer, so he ain't gonna give that up. Wouldn't make sense for him to do that anyway. Yeah, look at this 30-minute. We're reacting off this level here. It is what it is, bro. Lol, you have to miss some to get some. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we like sells. It's just one play. Remember, you know, sells. It's just one play. Like we could create support here, start heading back up. You know, there's no, definitive way. You know, you don't have to look for sells at this point. I know some people that will say, okay, I'm willing to miss this move and then create support to continue up. Someone disliked. Okay. Anyone want to own up to that one? Let's see who's got the let's see who disliked it. And you can tell us why. Honestly, I won't even be. I'm not annoyed. I don't care, to be honest. But yeah, if you dislike the stream, tell us why you dislike it. Tell us why you're here spending your time to dislike something. Doesn't make sense to me, but hey, I'd love to hear that person's opinion. Unless they just come on, dislike, and then just go just because they want to be I mean, if that's what they have to do with their time, that's it. But yeah, hey, I'll even get you on the Zoom chat if you want to tell me face to face, or not face to face, but voice to voice. It does not bother me.
To be fair, we was just talking about like his trade, and we was talking about gold, how it rejected, and how I think it might reject up until where the unemployment claims, you know, comes in. I don't really see any awkward charts in there.
Oh no, don't worry about it.
The guy disliked.
Oh, it was him.
It must be.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll probably get stopped out on a break even on the rest.
Yeah, that's
coming
right.
close. But yeah, at least I secured some. That's the main thing. Yeah, I'm out now.
Yeah, you're right. They're clearly watching. Because they disliked. Oh no, it's not him. It's not A. He likes me. Okay, fair enough. I like you too, mate. Don't worry. Don't worry. But yeah, I do want to know who disliked it. Because yesterday, 2 people disliked it. You know what I mean? And I never dislike a video. You know, I never dislike someone's video. Because if it's not that if I don't like it, I just don't watch it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah, so let's see if the person's got the cahooties to own up. Yeah, look at this, man. It's reacting off this level. Yeah, look, it's reacting off 144, 660, 650. It's exactly what I was concerned about.
The dislikes actually help the algorithm, I think. The YouTube algorithm. Because it counts as like activity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're helping you out.
Yeah, that's true. Another person's disliked. Another dislike. Someone must have done that, right? Literally, as I was saying, one of the person, they must have got another account to do it. I mean, that's just pathetic, man. Come on. I bet that's a grown ass man as well. That's a grown ass man that has done that. 100%. You know, just some pathetic guy. Like can't even come on here and say why he dislikes it. I mean, if there's something you don't like about the stream, exactly, provide feedback and we can improve. These streams are for you, everyone. You know, they're not just about me. You know, they're for the community. And if there's something that people think could be done better, I am 100% open to feedback. People know me. People who know me know I'm not very easily offended. I'm not easily is that right? Yeah, I'm not easily offended. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think that's pretty pathetic, to be honest. But it's cool. I don't give a shit. Well, it doesn't look like they're gonna own up to it, so there you go. There you go. I mean, yeah, we still can continue bearish, but it does seem like we're reacting off the 650 level. So, just gonna wait over here. Probably some middle-aged fella who's been learning to trade for like 15 years. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't even want to bash this guy. Like, I think, I just think I'd rather have constructive criticism, you know. I don't really, yeah, like, that's it. Not just that, I mean, they would have had to have been watching, so why watch something you don't like? I mean, it's pretty sad, really. I have to admit, it's pretty sad. So I feel sorry for him. He's got nothing better to do with his time while we're here trying to make money. You trade GBP JPY? Yes, I trade GBP JPY. Hey, it better not be you that did the dislike. I think he's trying to wind me up. I've been watching H since he used to come on Paul's Asian stream back in early summer. Definitely a humble guy. Appreciate that. Yeah. I remember those days. But those are the days I used to get like no sleep. I used to be up to like 3 in the morning trading Asian every night. And then back up for work again at like 6:37. Man, that was tough. Yeah, that I nearly ran myself into the ground trying to do that. But yeah. Some Dutch people higher. Not sure turbo mate. Not sure what you mean there. Those were the days, yeah. What's your name, HFX? Harrison. My name is Harrison. Yeah, that's what the H stands for. All my friends since I was young have all called me H, and then that's where I came up with the idea HFX. H might have to come on webcam, bro. It will give the stream more engagement. Yeah, I'm gonna do webcam eventually. I'm gonna do that eventually, but not at the moment because yeah, I don't really like the room that I'm in, and you know, when eventually I get my own place, 100% I'm gonna webcam, and because I want to have like a cool studio, you know, like have all trading shit on the walls and make it look cool, and yeah, then 100%. Plus at the moment, because it's like I do all of this from my cabin in the garden, it's absolutely freezing out here. Like, yeah, I'll just like an idiot in the morning. Like, I'm there like just shivering, like trying to start up the computer and that. Yeah, I look like a fool. I've been up till like 2 AM trading NY. Yeah, those late nights, they're difficult, but it depends on, you know, what you're doing, if you're working, if you've got things going on the side, all that good stuff. All depends. Did we get any more dislikes? I can't even see it, you know. I can't see who if anyone's disliked it. I can only see if people have liked it.
4 dislikes.
4?
Yeah.
Man, that's funny. That's literally just because.
It's because you haven't took a trade yet.
Yeah, nah. Do you know what it is? It's because I called the person who disliked it sad, and now yeah, now he's obviously very upset that he's still here. He's still here watching something that he dislikes. It's cool. I don't give a shit. Why not to cover up green screen? I don't really know how to do that, to be completely honest. It does it for the zoom. Does it for the zoom call.
Oh no, it basically means that you can like put a green screen behind where you're at, so then you can like choose your own background.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, man, could work. Could work. So that's an idea. Yeah, I could consider it. Took any trades, bro? Nah, no trades yet. I just didn't feel comfortable taking these sells. That's all. I didn't really feel comfortable. Yeah, I definitely offended a few people when I said a sad middle-aged man, because the dislikes went up. So I must have hit the nail on the head for 4 people there. It's just funny. I don't understand why they won't talk about why they dislike the stream. Why they won't talk about yeah, I mean, I just don't get that. I just really don't. It just doesn't. I just don't comprehend why someone would watch something they dislike. I mean, just yeah, I don't know. Oh, Lauren J's from Australia. Mad. Yeah, look at this retrace, man. Four-hour.
For a break of 880, then I for buys.
Yeah, even if I get it after the stream, that's what I'll be looking for.
Yeah, it would have been tough to break the 600 level because it is, still bullish trend at that point.
Yeah,
plus, stop breaking
plus I was very skeptical of this 650 level, and then measuring the range to 650, I was like, it's 10 pips. Yeah, probably gonna leave it. Obviously, looking back, it ran for like 15, and that completely made sense. But like this was what I kind of was anticipating, that this move down would get corrected with the fact we're in a strong trend. Plus, if we take a look at the daily and the weekly, we need to head bullish if the weekly has any chance of continuing up. This daily candle is going to be key for that to happen. So I mean, maybe the move's going to happen in NY. We don't know, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So, and if we don't get the move here while we're on the stream, I'm fine with that. Obviously, I'll take it afterwards, but that's what I'm kind of looking at here. Because if I look at this area, this is the 4-hour resistance that we rejected in the so this is the 4-hour resistance where once we close above, then we come to retest the high. So this is the high range. So basically, once we're above 144.880, then there's a strong probability that we're gonna retest this high at this resistance. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. I was looking at this whole area as like this kind of 2 zones, but then I'm thinking, we actually had rejections to this zone before we pushed down. So I mean, this is a whole zone at that point. But yeah, I mean, even if we get like a bullish candle close here, we pull back and close bearish here again, then I would actually be more inclined to look for further downside, because then we made a low with volume, we then retraced, we rejected this area, then I would say, okay, yeah, we're going to come down and retest this low, and then maybe even continue further down. And maybe we are rejecting this area and we're not going to head up today. That's something I'm going to be looking for as well. So just a bit of patience here.
Looking back on my trade, I could have caught 10 pips if I just got in on the 15-minute wick. So that's what I'll probably note down for next time.
Yeah, I think as well, once the 30-minute candle closed below, that was the point, like entry.
True.
Kind of this area.
Well, I
Because
just
then
didn't like.
you could have had a 9 pip stop, and then you would have got 14, 15 pips there. And
Yeah, I
then
just wasn't too sure of like that 30-minute area to the left. But obviously, it got broken.
No, 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's like a very difficult situation, but that's kind of why I was like, at the time, felt it wasn't the right thing to take sells. But looking back from a technical perspective, I mean, it made complete sense. So, from my plan last night, what I put together was, as long as we stay above 144,650, the bias is bullish, But then I kept in mind, okay, well, if we create resistance here, there could be a short-term sell play. But what I want to really aim for is like a really longer trade, like in terms of what's something that could run 20, 30 plus pips, and that's to look for buys potentially, on the break of this high, and then to continue moving up based on the higher time frames. H, you must have pushed some buttons to make them dislike the stream. Well, yeah, I mean, people can. I don't know, man. I can't be. What can I say? No matter what I say, they're gonna dislike the stream because that's what those type of people do. So, all I care about is there's 30 or so people that like the stream. We got 60 people on the stream right now, so there's 60 people that want to listen. Whether those 4 people that disliked it are part of that 60, which they most likely are because they've been on here to dislike it, then yeah, they're still here to listen. So it's kind of shame on them, really. I would 100% respect anybody that dislikes the stream and comments to say, yeah, I dislike the stream, and no one needs to say anything to them. Like, none of the YouTube chat needs to give them any grief. I don't, it's not about that. If they think that they don't like what I do, that's fine. If they have something to bring to the table where they can say, I don't like your stream because that's perfectly fine. But we all know they're not going to do that. Whereas, see me, if I disliked the stream, I would 100% say, I've disliked your stream, and this is why, and I wouldn't care. Because I'll say what I think.
On 6 dislikes now.
It's gone to 6.
People are just doing it. Must be for a joke.
Yeah, now you lot are just trying to do it on purpose. Yeah, because there can't be 6 people that actually watch my stream to not like it. So yeah, if you dislike the stream, just leave, innit? Just go. Just leave. We don't want you here, then. So yeah, just chilling. So Euro NZD. Oh, looks like Euro NZD came above that range over there. Ten dislikes. Wow. Okay, yeah. Now people just trying to do it to pee me off.
13.
13 dislikes. Alright, yeah. Now people just doing it on purpose. Unless someone's got someone, unless someone's like another streamer's got a load of people to come on here and dislike it. You know what some petty people are like. So yeah, there you go. 30-minute candle close bullish. So I mean, unless we get like a bearish candle close over here, then we can't really look for further downside at this point because it's quite a clear rejection of this area. Means you're doing things really well. Should be proud of this, haters. Thank you. Yeah, it's all cool, man. I know if you, yeah, some of those are just jokes, but what's gold doing? Gold's just kind of ranging right now. GU continue moving down though. Target was reached on GU if you was paying attention. Where's the next target on GU? Probably going to be the support down over here. You talked about it too much. Yeah, I can say what I want. It's my stream, innit? Do you trade Euro pairs H? I mean, yeah, like I'm slowly getting to trade Euro NZD just because I like the way it moves. I've been watching it for a little while now, and it's got some good moves in London. So, yeah, Euro NZD. I used to trade Euro JPY, but I found that yeah, a lot of the time it just kind of like what's it called? Just kind of ranged. So there we go. Yeah, Euro JPY is difficult actually. It's a very difficult pair to trade. Like it's easy in the sense that in terms of direction on the higher time frames, it's fairly simple. But when it comes to actually trying to trade Euro JPY, I find that, you know, you get a lot of these. Like from a 1 hour perspective, this made sense. But then you look on the 30-minute, and it's like it closes back in the range, you know, created support, closed back in the range, and came up. Like it just shouldn't do shit like that, you know. Like it should respect this area. Like if this was GJ, you'd get price respecting this area. You know, pulling down, creating support over here to continue up. But EJ just does weird shit like this, and then, you know, but I've caught a few good moves on Euro JPY. I only ever take a trade on Euro JPY when it's something I've seen happen like many times. You know, like 100 plus times. Been getting later moves this week. Yeah, I think the moves have been happening kind of like after London Open. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate that, mate. Very kind. Very kind. Get myself a nice. What should I get? Maybe like a Greg's. Maybe I'll treat myself to a sausage roll this morning. How funny. So I'm looking at my stream from like the internet. So there's two ways you can view the chat. One way is on the internet, and then the other way is on the Streamlabs. And I can see A-Rod's comment on the YouTube on the internet one, but not on the Streamlabs. It's not come up. Right, let's check out this chart, mate. It's woken up late. Tut. Right, let's check this out. Okay. This is GJ 1 hour. So intraday bullish structure, 100%. Safer buys, break previous highs, close above 144.800, and respecting intraday bullish structure. Yeah, exactly what I'm looking for. Buys above 144.800, exactly that. And then or even like 880, somewhere like that, because of this. If you look, if I just kind of like, how do I zoom in? Yeah, there we go. So if you zoom in, this area here is what concerns me for rejection. So for buys, since if we do respect this bullish structure 100%, then buys would be above here for me, because then if we create some support or we break above this area, then obviously we can retest this high over here and then continue moving up to our next key levels. So yeah, exactly what you're kind of looking at there. So yeah, definitely got a good idea there. And then you said safer sells, break previous lows, close below 144.500, break of intraday bullish structure. Yeah, that's also true. That's why these sells. Oh shit. Yeah, that's partly why these sells were a bit more tough. Because what's it called? These sells were tough because they were counter trend. The structure is heavy bullish. Maybe because you're on top chat, not live chat on YouTube, it classes links as spam. Oh. Yeah, but surely, okay, maybe I need to do that from now on, because all the people that have been trying to send charts, maybe I've been missing it because I've been focusing on the Streamlabs chat rather than the YouTube chat. So yeah, maybe I'll look at this one from now on, because it literally, I'm still looking at it. Your comment, Slongy Animations, your comment came up, but A-Rod's didn't, and I think that's because he had a chart. Thank you, HFX. You're the best. No worries, mate. No worries. Appreciate it. So it seems like we're breaking the highs on the 30-minute time frame. 15-minute candles are closing bullish. Yeah, even if we can. So there's two things I'm gonna look for. There's two things. First thing is that if we can break above, and I say break above 144.880, this area right over here, because then we'd be breaking above these rejections, and then we can continue moving up at that point. The second thing that I'm gonna look for is if we can close back above this area, which is obviously this support in pre-London, and then we can create some support right over here, then I'm going to look for buys at that point too. The only way I'd look for sells is if we create a resistance over here to retest this low. But it would need to be a stronger confirmation for me to want to do that, because there's like A-Rob was saying, the trend is heavy bullish. So that's why I'm trying to look for buys here. Daily's heavily bullish. Daily's bullish. 4 hour. Yeah, if this is a nice liquidity grab on the 4 hour, it's going to be pretty good. 1 hour is also now. So it seems as though it did reject this area. But we've still got 50 minutes left for the 1 hour candle to close. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting here because we can't really do anything right now. Hey H, I must have missed it, but what did you say you were going to change with your trading style? Thank you. So basically just about holding positions longer, really, not really trying to look to manage risk so much based on the smaller time frames, you know, just going to try and focus on kind of like what's the word, like kind of like focusing more on, you know, letting trades breathe, in effect, like letting trades run, you know, securing profits at 10 pips, letting, you know, larger portions of the position run to key levels that, you know, there's a high probability that it's going to reach. So that kind of way forward now, really, for me. The other thing as well is, in terms of like stop loss placement, be less aggressive with stops. I really reviewed a lot of the losses, and, you know, a lot of the trades taken were very impulsive moves, very difficult moves, you know, things that I've seen happen a lot of times, and yeah, they work out a lot of the times, but when they lose, you know, it can really affect, and the thing about these impulse entries is because sometimes they're really hard to catch. You know, in the NY session, they seem to be happening a lot, say, smoother. They seem to be a better form of entry than, say, with the London session. With the London session, you know, the best type of entry you can wait for is a strong confirmation setup, you know. So, yeah. So I'm just kind of waiting here to see if we can start to close back above this area. I mean, another great opportunity would be if we say this candle closes above this area, and then we get a bearish candle close, but it closes at this zone, and then as we start to break the highs, you know, we can enter, expect this area to break, stops kind of down below this area because we shouldn't be coming back over here, and then, you know, we can target like this area, and then, you know, leave something to maybe run to continue moving up based on the weekly. You know, this could run right all the way through to NY session. Yeah, no problem. Does Japan have a bank holiday today? I don't think so, but I'm gonna check. I don't think that's too much of an issue, but no, I think that's tomorrow. Yeah, JPY bank holiday. Oh no, that is today. You're right. Sorry, I was on yesterday's. Yeah, it is a JPY bank holiday. So yeah, in a sense, like it could affect volume, but probably not really, you know, because it's the London session. It's influenced by the pound. H, what do you think of EN? EN right now. Yeah, I think EN could definitely continue moving bullish if we're closing back in this range. Let's take a look over here. Let's remove this. Because we said that the bias was potentially bullish from the daily. Oh no, that was yesterday. Yeah, it's a little bit of a difficult situation because this area is going to be this whole zone is a major problem. You know, trying to buy up above this, you know, into this is going to be very difficult, you know, because this is a heavy downtrend. So when we're in a heavy downtrend, these previous support levels are what, you know, price is going to reject to continue moving down. So this is a very difficult situation. I think buys are very, very tough. But looking on the smaller time frames, obviously we have a range, but I just wouldn't. Yeah, maybe the best thing to do is to wait for this 4 hour to break out of this range, because then if you wait for the 4 hour to break out, okay, then you could argue, well, once we break this resistance, then we could definitely come up and, you know, tap into these rejection wicks or even fill these wicks over there, you know. But this range here is, yeah, probably not a good area to be taking a trade. For me, anyway, I would say that, but obviously it's up to you. So it's like GJ, yeah, coming back above this area. So 15-minute candle closed bullish above this area. So there's two things I want to see. We spoke about this, but there's two things I want to see. I either want to see a support formed right over here on the 15-minute, and then what I would do would be base the trade off the 1 hour time frame, right? Or there's at the same time, you know, there's the 30-minute as well. If we can create support, or, you know, if we do start to break above 144.875, then that's also the point at which I'll be looking for buys. But we could see a little bit of a pullback, although it's after London session. You know, I know we moved down and now we're starting to move up. There could be a little bit of a pullback, so that also I'm going to keep in mind. You know, there's plenty of options when it comes to buys. You know, you can look for support in many areas. You can look for support over here. You can look for support above this area. You can even look for support above this area. You know, so we're just going to try and wait, see what kind of prints, and then if it's something that I like, then we take the trade. Good, still in the range. Do you mean for GJ Salim, or do you mean for EN? Yeah, I think EN's definitely still in a range. I mean, the only way you could look for buys on EN is with a support, really, because then you'd be closing back above that, creating support back above this area, and then at least you could argue that this range should then get filled, because you do have like a clean traffic. But yes, looks like GJ is going to continue moving up. Yeah, it's going to be buys above 144.880, or, you know, support above 144.760, 750. Just kind of see how it plays out. But if we miss the move, we miss the move. Yeah, see, the issue, although we're in a heavy uptrend, the issue of taking buys right over here is that obviously we just broken out below this area. So that's why that is a difficult and delicate situation, as Mr. Roger would say. It's a very difficult situation. So that's why we would need, you know, closes back above. Otherwise, because if we were closing below this area, then one could argue resistance to take us further down, and that's not a wrong thing to say. Oh, gold. Sorry about the little. That's fine. No, don't worry, mate. You're good. Looks like gold is breaking up though. It's breaking the highs. But yeah, probably since these rejection wicks, yeah, you probably want to wait for a close. But knowing gold, it's just gonna run up. But yeah, no, gold should start to continue up. HFX, how long did it take you to become a full-time trader? Maybe, I don't know, probably like 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, probably around 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, I think we should see a nice bullish move here today. That's what I'm kind of waiting for here. Waiting for this bearish 15-minute time frame for some buys. Yeah, you can wait. I mean, there's plenty of options for buys. I mean, obviously, if it just runs up, it becomes difficult. But then, obviously, you just wait for a bit of a pullback, support to form, and a continuation. But the way that it's moving now, yeah, I'd like a bearish candle to close above this area. And then if we can create like a 15-minute bullish candle, you can take the entries based off the 15-minute, But you know, obviously the stops are gonna have to be based on the 30-minute higher time frame. Gold still in the range. Good buys would be on close above 1846. Also keep an eye on unemployment claims at NY. Yes, yeah, that's very true. It's very true. We've got some Euro news here too. EU economic forecast. That's in 40 minutes. So for those of you trading Euro pairs, maybe that's what Euro NZD was waiting for, and EJ as well, or maybe it's moving up pre-news. Yeah, the only way you could have really caught this move was like on the 15-minute or the 5-minute. You know, once this 15-minute candle closed above, that was your entry. But then, you know, stops are based on the 1 hour. Down over here. Do you trade US 100, US 30? No. Too difficult for me. Yeah, too difficult for me. Hate these like Mario Kart type of tunes, man. So then, as we're kind of waiting here, I thought we'd have one of our little discussions. So what do people think about the UK government coming out with that you can get up to 10 years in prison for lying about what country you've arrived from? I have never, I mean, yeah, let's hear other people's reactions first to that.
They're really trying to, you know, they're literally trying to take away our freedom to even travel abroad. Like, they're saying you need to obviously quarantine for like 10 days, and that costs nearly $2,000 as well.
I mean, think about it like this, right? The pandemic started over a year ago, and they want to talk about travel now. Like, is it just me, or are they thick as shit? Like, forget the prison sentence, but just even getting travelers to quarantine. I mean, a year too late, no?
100%, no doubt.
Ridiculous, man. I mean, a 10-year prison sentence. Come on, man.
I mean, people do like murders and that in the UK, and they get like 10 years or something. It's ridiculous.
Imagine being in prison, right? And then you're in a cell. You got like four guys in there. You're like, oh yeah. What are you in for? One's like, yeah, murder. You go to the other one. Oh, what are you in for? Oh yeah, did an armed robbery. Well, why? What are you in for? Yeah. I lied on my travel form. What? How long you in for? Yeah, I got 10 years. I'm doing a long stretch. Man, what a fucking joke.
And it's such a waste of like prison resources as well, having people like that in there.
Yeah, I'm being serious, right? They talk about the prison system's overrun. We haven't got enough space for prison. I mean, come on, man. People get less time for bloody beating up a granny, and that's not even a joke. We got paedophiles coming out within a fucking 3-year sentence with good behaviour.
Yep.
They've lost the plot, mate. They really have. They really have lost the plot. I've never heard such stupidity in my life. Honestly.
Just when you think it can't get worse as well, just something pops up.
Oh mate, this ain't even the. This isn't even the. Like, we're nowhere near where what's gonna happen. You know, this ain't. This is far from over, man. These plums are running this country. Honestly. I mean, that Matt Hancock, he needs to go. He needs to go. He is an absolute buffoon. You see Twitter permanently banned Trump. Well, that was always going to happen because, you know, they're obviously very biased. Yeah, it's just, I mean, that is complete and utter, like, freedom of speech is gone. I don't care what anybody says, freedom of speech is gone. If you disagree with, you know, these big tech companies, they can take away your voice, they can take away your platform. I mean, to think about that for a sec, you know, the freedom of speech is gone. You can't say what you want anymore, you know. If that, I mean, come on, man, like, they want to ban Trump, but they've got, you know, terrorist organizations on Twitter. I mean, ISIS had fucking Twitter, you know, like, that. It's just an utter crap. It's utter crap. It's political. It's political agenda. You know, they want him off Twitter. They don't want him running in 2024. You know, they want just, they don't want Trump around because they don't agree with him, and that's just a simple fact. They don't want the simple. That's just it. You know, and freedom of speech is gone. Man, all I'm gonna say is 90% of our population actually agree and go along with this bullshit. I actually disagree with you. I would say that not 90%. I'd say it's around 50-50. But what I would tell you is that 90% of the shit you see is in favor of it. And that's because if you truly step back for a minute, right? If you truly step back and you use a bit of logic, you know, we as traders, right? We look at the bigger picture. Like right now, you know, we talked about sales, but we looked at the overall picture. The overall picture is the trend is bullish. So let's look at the overall picture for what the government are doing, right? For some, they may say, you know, anyone just focusing on what they think and not what they see would say about the situation, oh, the government are just trying to push the message. They're just trying to enforce that people don't break the rules. They don't want the virus to spread. You know, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to do the right thing. That's the typical phrase I've heard. Now, me stepping back as a trader and looking at the overall picture, I look at the picture and I say, we have a government that are using propaganda on a daily basis, have got the media on their side to also push this propaganda and this whole agenda. You know, I mean, if you've seen the UK's advert on coronavirus, it just sums it up to a T. You know, it sums it up to a T. You know, of the fear mongering, the pressure, the just complete disregard. It's incredible. I've actually never seen anything like it, and yeah, it's total bonkers. But if you look at it from the bigger picture, there's an agenda here. I mean, you can't say there isn't, because it makes no sense. This has never been, you know, I mean, if you guys knew half the shit that I know, then you'd probably think the same. But obviously, I'm not going to be here to babble on about, you know, what I think and stuff. But what I do think right now is GJ is closing back above 144.760, which means that this move down was a fake out, right? So now I'm going to wait to see if we can pull back a little bit, create some sweet support, and then continue moving up, because the 1 hour candle's still open. The 1 hour candle's got a little bit of time left, so I don't want to get caught on that. So we're just going to wait here. But also, good buys above 144.880. Remember that. Civil war soon. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, people are pissed. You know, everyone I speak to is pissed. They ain't happy. You know, a lot of the people that, like, think about it, yeah? You go on the media, you only hear scientists that talk about what the media want them to talk about. You know, you never get a scientist actually saying, actually, well, there's this evidence to show that lockdowns don't work. There's this to show this. They don't do that. It's all biased. And when something's biased, and when something isn't objective, like when there's not two sides to the story, there's always a concern. That's the first stop. When you have a government that aren't even willing to tell you the cost benefit of the decisions they're making, there's a problem. There is a big problem. Trust me. Instead of using weapons like the old days, they use V and mind control to achieve what they want without a sweat. Yeah, man, because they know that half the population are thick as shit and will do what, you know, and will listen to what they're told. They know that. They know that. But I'm afraid that there is a group of people in this country that have a certain way of thinking that they ain't gonna influence them, because, you know, those people are fairly switched on. But there you go. Twitter's getting sued for having baby porn allowed in it. I didn't think Twitter can get sued. I mean, I might be wrong, but I was pretty sure they have. They're like, see, that's what I mean. They got so much power. Like, I mean, Big Pharma, you know, the ones who made the vaccine, they can't be sued. That's actually truth. They cannot be sued. I mean, that just, for me, that's a worry within itself. I get it, because you'd have people trying to sue the company if there was even one small thing wrong. I understand that, but at the same time, like, no one should be immune from any consequence. You know, no one is above the law, and I mean, to some extent, that's putting them above the law in the name of health. And it's very clever. You have to remember. Yeah, it's very. I have to admit, it's very clever, because it's in the name of health. You know, you can't argue, or they see it. You can't argue with trying to look after people's health. That's in the name that they talk about. But if that were the case, then, I mean, they'd be thinking about mental health. They'd be thinking about people's physical health. You know, if that was true, you wouldn't see McDonald's on the high street, because McDonald's probably, you know, obviously has some form of death toll with about diabetes and cholesterol and whatnot. But yeah, so it's all bollocks, man. But anyway, let's focus on the charts. Let's read a few comments. Also, these trends on the internet is to test how weak people are. Yep, that's also true. But all this stuff on social media, man, it's all to brainwash you. Looked on BBC app last week. 6 of the 7 top stories were about new deadly variants. That's it. You know, new variants, scaremonger all the time, every day. I see a new variant every fucking day. I mean, you know, but what they don't tell you is that a virus, of course, mutates, and they knew that. So, you know, again, they're twisting it to an agenda here. 144, 870, safe buys above that. Yes. 880, 870, that's where I'm kind of looking for buys. Yeah, 100%. But I mean, we could see a little bit of a pullback or support form. That's what I'm just kind of waiting here to see what prints. One person creates a challenge, then promote the challenge, everyone would follow. And for this challenge to happen over and over, then this will become a weak point to access people's mind and make you do what they want. Yeah, I mean, it's like the old saying, you know, divide and conquer. You know, they truly have divided the country. You know, fear mongering as well. Fear is control. Fear is control. You know, you have people scared, you can control, because you have to remember, like, the one way to access people and the one way to control people is by playing with their emotions, right? Because a lot of people, 90% of people, act with their emotions. And why do we know that? Why do we know that as traders, right? Because look at the stats in trading. 90% of people lose 90% of their account within the first 90 days. That's all psychological. That's all emotional. You know, over trading, over risking, that's all emotional trading. People, you know, most people aren't successful in trading because they trade with emotion. They make decisions with emotion. So if you can understand people's emotions, you can control them, right? And that's exactly what government are doing. You know, they know people are scared. You know, if you put enough emphasis on the fact that a lot of people are going to die, people will be scared. People will be scared. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Um. But honestly, guys, man, we're living through some crazy times. Honestly. Who decides the law? Well, the government really decide the law, because Boris can implement a new law. Like this Coronavirus Act. They introduced the Coronavirus Act. They can do so much under this act. Like things that actually they're not allowed to do in normal time. Like technically, by you staying at home, they are breaking human rights. But under this Coronavirus Act, it's okay. So, like you have to think. I mean, people are the people I speak to that agree with it. They've lost all sense of reality. And I know they have, because they make comments like, "Oh, one coronavirus death is too many." So I always just reply, okay, that's fine. So you drive. Yeah, I drive. Oh, well, one car accident death is way too many. So you can't get in that car, because you might die if you get in that car. There's 100 people, 70 people killed a day in road accidents. So you can't get in that car, because that's 71 too many. Let's get rid of cars now, because they kill 70 people a day here in the UK. So we need to get rid of those as well, because we're all about saving lives. Yeah, right. Come on. People need to use some fucking logic. Their attack on quote unquote disinformation has escalated. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the way they speak about Trump. The man only has to say the word round, and they'll be like, "Here is Donald Trump talking about fat people, calling them round." Like they just make it up as they go along, man. And the reason they hate Trump is because he stands for everything they stand against. These people, he's all about freedom and whatnot, and the establishment wanted him out. But there you go. So there's always people above the law. Well, of course there's people above the law. Of course there is, man. If this look, society will never be perfect. I'm not here to say that society needs to be perfect. It will never be perfect. There'll always be people that get away with shit. That's life. But it's when it affects the average person by what's going on. And this is what it's doing. They don't give a shit that people have been locked in their homes for a fucking year. And there's no one got the intelligence to say, well, hang on a minute. You've locked everyone down pretty much for a year. Oh, and the virus is still spreading. It ain't working. You got countries that didn't even lock down with the same death toll as us. I mean, come on, man. People are just so thick as two planks. Japan's the safest right now. Yeah, Japan. I mean, look at Sweden, man. They didn't even lock down. Our media tried to make out they're having a really shit time, when really they just had the same as us, and they didn't even lock down. I mean, that just goes to prove they don't fucking work. I mean, if you guys really want to know the true information, how about this then? The WHO, the World Health Organization, the one that all these governments supposedly listen to for their advice, said months before the pandemic, right? I bet you lot didn't know this, that lockdowns don't work. They said that. Oh, but then as soon as the pandemic comes around, lockdowns do work. Did you also know that before the pandemic, they also said masks don't work because the virus can seep into your eyeballs. They can seep by you touching on your hands and obviously touching your face. The mask gives you limited protection. That's what they said. Oh, but when the pandemic comes around, masks must be mandatory because masks will protect you. People don't.
So you know what? Honestly,
go on.
You know what, Harrison?
Yeah.
In my point of view, like
Yeah,
I don't even think that the government has got any sorts of power, because I just can't, like, I just can't see them making decisions within a split of like what, a week to just think about locking the whole country. So of course, like, you know, they're getting, you know, information from a high level. You know, to just think like what like a prime minister can be able to do all these type of things, it's just hard to see. Like what you made a point about, you know, saying that the masks and the gloves doesn't really work, but then all of a sudden they become like, you know, masks. I think around June last year, they became voluntary. You know, like that kind of, it does help, and then all of a sudden it became mandatory, and
Yeah.
then we went to a tiered system. So it's just not working really, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, like why would the World Health Organization, who's the one that's supposed to be the experts of this, right? Why would they, months before the pandemic, say that lockdowns don't work, that masks give you limited protection, aka don't work, because the virus, you know, if someone spits at you, right, yeah, you're not going to breathe it in, but if it hits your eyeball, it's it, you've got the virus, you know, like mask gives you limited protection. Most masks actually don't even protect you from the virus at all. There's only certain ones that would stop you from breathing it in, right? And actually, as well, on top of that, you know what they actually did say? They said wearing masks without any health conditions can actually give you viruses and health conditions, because you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide and it's not healthy for you at all. You can actually have worse off conditions by that. But that message all changed. And come on, man, people got to work things out. You know, if the message changes when a pandemic comes around, to me, it says one thing: opportunity. Opportunity. But there we go. People need to
you know, back in
work things out for themselves.
yeah, you know, back in 2019, around November, October, there was a conference with the World Health Organization and Bill Gates and all the the big people.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, the conference was based on talking on like how they would react when, you know, a pandemic comes. And that's really interesting, because like, how can you decide to talk about pandemic all of a sudden, you know, like right before something was going to happen? And that was in October, and I've seen. Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Oh no, I was going to say I'll even go one further and say, did you know that they did a pandemic simulation 5 months before the pandemic came out? Did you know that?
No, really, no. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, look it up. So they did it, and it was a COVID, not COVID-19, but a COVID pandemic simulation, and they tested to see how quick it would spread around the globe. How could they done a pandemic simulation. Honestly, look it up. It's facts. And this was months before a COVID-19 pandemic comes out. Yeah. Trump was the only one they couldn't buy. Yeah, I agree with that. Sweden bet on herd immunity. Yeah, definitely they're going to be on herd immunity. I mean, we probably are at herd immunity. We've had the virus for a year now. You know, they reckon 30,000 people a day tested positive. They don't even test everybody, so it's going to be way more than that. You know, I already did the maths on that. Within a year, that would be nearly, I think it was like 12 million people. So, does anyone remember the 2012 Olympic ceremony show? Yeah, I remember that, when they did all about the Industrial Revolution, all that stuff. Yeah, I remember that. I say ignore all the rules and see if you get it. Well done. I think I've already had it, mate. And, yeah, so I think I already had it. And I didn't think it was that bad. I felt ill for about a day and then went to bed, woke up, felt fine. But it was a weird, it definitely, like, there's no doubt the virus is real. Like, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say it ain't real. You know, that's just silly. But I know that it's not this disease, this killer disease that media want to make out. But yeah, I definitely had it, because I mean, I've never been ill to the point that I've had like really achy back, joints. You know, I had really bad ache. It was like a huge ache, and I just felt really weak. But I know in myself when I'm coming down with something, so I always just rest when I'm coming down with something, and I got rest and I was fine. Wasn't fine. I was fine, complete fine. Florida has pretty much kept everything up and running the whole pandemic as well, and they're doing the best out of all the states. That's what I mean. You know, if you think about it, if there's no, okay, so if you think about it, did they ever show us evidence to show why they need to close shops, restaurants? Did they ever show us the evidence to say this is where the highest transmission have? No, they didn't. So Bill Gates is behind everything. He is the real evil. I don't know. I mean, yeah, Bill Gates is 100% in on something because, you know, he owns shares in the vaccine companies. He's, you know, he's part of the World Health Organization. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking shady as shit. No doubt about it. But I can't really say. I don't really know who's on what, you know. I don't really know, to be completely honest. But looks like we could create support over here on GJ, which is what I'm waiting for. Hopefully we're going to get that. But we do need support, and the reason why is because current short-term structure is still bearish. You know, because like right now, you have to remember we're creating this type of situation here. So it's difficult right now. We need to wait for better confirmations. Looks like we will have a new world order. We will live different. I think there already is a new world order, but I know some people are gonna say that's all conspiracy and shit. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that are true. There's a lot of truth in it, so you can't deny truth. You can't deny facts. Rockefeller Foundation, yeah. How Boris was ill on a deathbed in the show. He wasn't even in power at that point. Yeah. I don't know. See, I'd love to talk about it more. I know so much about this shit that people don't really know, but at the same time, I know there's just some people out there that will just deny. You know, you can throw evidence in someone's face and then be like, nah, it's too good to be true. You know, that's just some people. So I can't be bothered.
I think ultimately it comes down to, like, yeah, you can say as much as you want to someone, but it's going to take them to like realize it themselves
100%.
By figuring out something that's happened, and they actually then start questioning things.
Yeah, that's true. That's just it, innit? Like, you know, if someone come to me and told me all this stuff and I didn't have a clue, you know, I'd be like, oh, he's just talking like rubbish. But until you work things out for yourself, you're never gonna know. But yeah, I 100% agree with that. But yeah, I got corona too yesterday. Yesterday you had corona. Lost tasting receptors and headache pretty much. Oh shit. Well, I hope you get better. But I'm sure you'll be fine. You know, you're gonna be fine. I only knew I had it because I got a positive test. Yeah, but then, you know, you have to remember, Boris Johnson said it himself, 67% of the tests are incorrect, or inaccurate, you know? And then think about it. These whole lockdowns have been based off tests that are 67% inaccurate. So, I rest my case. People watched many movies. People watched too many movies. I don't know, man. I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, but if you guys want to watch a really good film about a pandemic and how I'm pretty convinced either there is something shady going on or they're so stupid that they've copied how to deal with it by this film. It's called Contagion. It's on Netflix. This film. Yeah, it's all about... When was this? This was, I think it was like 2011. So this was made in 2011. And it's all about this virus and how quickly it spreads and how there's lockdowns, there's stockpile. It's literally everything we've seen in the last year. Honestly, I really, really give that a watch. But it's just funny because you would literally think they've watched this film and thought that's how you would deal with a pandemic. Honestly, it's like identical. It's kind of funny. What do you think of the Federal Reserve? I mean, I don't know. All I can say is I don't really agree with central banks in general. I mean, they serve a purpose, but they're not really there to do what you think they're there to do. You know, at the end of the day, these people have the right to print money, and they have the right to create debt. You know, if it wasn't for central banks, you know, most of the population wouldn't be into debt. You know, they've encouraged debt. You know, if you think about society now, society is all built on debt. You need to get into debt to get an education. You need to get into debt to buy your home. You need to get into debt to finance your car. You need to get into debt to finance your your phone bill, whatever it is. You know, you need to get into debt to be able to afford the things that people have. You know, that's the mentality that has been pushed and driven. I mean, think about that, right? You're a teenager and you're told to get a good job, you need to get into 50 grand's worth of debt to get somewhere in life. That's what you're told. 50 grand before you've even walked into a proper full-time job.
It's crazy. And you don't even think about it either, do you? You just think, oh, everyone else is going.
Yeah, it's a group thing. Yeah, exactly. You know, you think, you know, you're told that's the way forward. That's the way to get asserted in life. And of course, look, I'm all for education. Education is so important. You know, education is what separates success from failure. But the way in which they product education is not, you know, how the fuck, right? Can you have a generation that, you know, if you don't go uni, you get an average job. If you go uni, you get a better job. But even though you get a better job, oh, I'm sorry, you know, you got to pay that 60 grand back for you to study, for you to learn, and for the, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I just think that, like, you know, these central banks, everything about them and everything about society may seem like it's all great, but at the end of the day, like, debt has to take a toll, you know? Who's going to pay off the debt? I mean, I just can't believe that, you know? You think about it, like, you're conditioned to believe that you have to get yourself into debt to have a life. You know, you have to get into debt to have a life. You know, you have to get into debt to buy a house. You have to get into debt to go uni. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Suppose with most of the people being in debt, it allows, you know, the rich to be even richer.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? That's half the point. I mean, you know, there's the wealthy and there's the poor, and you know, you wonder why the gap is always increasing. Well, because the rich aren't in debt. They're the ones lending out, and the poor are always in debt. But there you go. Okay. They tease us with the films, expose it to us, then implement it. History pretty much repeats itself. Oh yeah, history always repeats itself. What's going on, Jake? Morning, mate. Morning. Now, even if you go to uni, doesn't mean you get a good job. Oh, 100, without a doubt. I mean, what would you say? I'd say the most common degree is probably like a psychology degree. But, I mean, there's not many, like, positions for psychologists, you know, like, compared to what other positions you can do at degree level. I mean, and that's going to cost you 50 grand to do that. Or even sometimes more than that, because I know some people do like 4-year courses. The fact they throw a decision to take 50k of debt on 18-year-olds. Yeah, I mean, they don't even teach you about finance at school. You know, they don't even teach you about debt. They don't teach you about, you know, what debt really means, what good debt is, bad debt. I mean, they class student debt as good debt, but is it? I don't know. for some, for some it's key. For engineers, things like that, you get a good engineering degree, you can get a really good job. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but does it benefit the average student? I don't know. I mean, uni itself is a great thing on its own. Forget the debt, forget the money. It's a great thing. It teaches you. So it's another step in life. It's supposed to be about balance between studying and enjoying your time there. But yeah. In my country, we can study for first degree for free. Government pays for it. Oh, that's nice. Awesome. But then even though that sounds great, that's still got to be paid for some way. So even if the government's doing that for free, nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. They're going to have to find that money somewhere, aren't they? So they take it in other ways. I mean, if you think about our situation now, our government have got us into the most historical debt we've ever been in. So do you honestly believe that they're just going to go, okay, we've got the country into, the highest amount of debt ever recorded. That's fine. We're not going to worry about it. No, they're going to start looking for ways to scramble that back. And then again, just comes out of the working man's pocket. But there you go. Beautiful rejection on the 15-minute. Yeah. I kind of want to wait for a candle to close bullish. The 1 hour candle's also closing. The thing about taking buys here right now is because until we have a support, this area hasn't broken yet. We're still closing below this area. So that's why I'm thinking good buys are going to be, above 144.880, because then we haven't got any issue areas. Obviously apart from up over here, but that's where we'd be securing some profits. So yeah, I think either like a 30-minute support created. Yeah, we'll see. But I think since where we are now, there is definitely the bias. Bias is bullish. So yeah, I think we'll wait. I think we'll stay on the stream a little bit longer, see if we can get a nice move here. But yeah, I definitely want to see a break above 144.880, because we could still retrace back down to this level, based on the 30-minute, create support, and then we could take buys, or it's going to be above this area to take buys. So there's a couple of options. But if we just look at the candles, we've been moving up. We're probably due a little bit of a pullback, which could be this, but then yeah, it's either going to be above this or support over here, to keep it simple. The government doesn't make money, they take money. Free uni is really paid by the mass. Yeah. That's it. Oh, nice. So if this 30-minute can close bearish over here in this 30 seconds that we got left, then if we can get a support created, that's going to be a good opportunity to take buys, and then we can expect this area to break and continue the move up. But there's no sells. There's no sells at this point. Right? There's no sells. We are not below this structure. There's bullish market structure overall. We created support down over here, and now we're heading up.
It's been quite slow though. It's only moved up 30 pips.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, it's been a bit of lack of volume again, but could be a late volume push. That's why I'm still gonna after the stream, if I get the move after the stream, I'm gonna look for buys. But at least for those who've been paying attention throughout the stream, will know how to catch this move. Because we've said either buys above 144.880 or support right over here. So we can see the 30-minute candle closed bearish. We closed back above support, so we got to wait for support to be created now. When price is back above a support level, you want to see candles closing bullish at that level. 1 hour candle closed, but if you look at the 1 hour, we're still closing below this area. So that's why we want to see confirmations on the smaller time frames. Let's take a look at GU. GU is very messy now at this point, but we didn't come down to the second TP. Reacted off that area there. EN also retraced. So again, it's kind of the same thing with Euro NZD. You know, if we can get a support formed over here, then you would expect this high to break since the move down got corrected, and then for this area to be retested. So let's take a look on the 15 minute. So it tried to create support over here on the 15 minute, but it couldn't be sustained. So that's why you probably want to wait for a 30-minute candle. Euro JPY retracing. GJ is coming back below this area, but we need price to stay above. And then gold. Oh, gold back in the range. Back in the range on gold. Yeah, gold is just ranging here. If we look on the 30-minute as well, we have this like consolidation area now. So yeah, good sells on gold would be below these wicks because we have a clean candle to come down to this area. It's like probably like a 60 pip range. Let's take a look on the 1 hour on gold. Yeah, it's like a weak bullish 1 hour candle there. But usually that means if it can break the high, we have volume to come up. But let's take a look on the 4 hour. See, the 4 hour candle, it couldn't close above 1844. So, I mean, technically 4 hours still in a range over here. So this next 4 hour candle could wick down, kind of, you know, it could retrace this bullish candle, but we're not really sure yet. Smaller time frames, there's not really much going on. It's just ranging. So, yeah. But GJ, we're just waiting for support. But we want these 15-minute candles. This 15-minute candle needs to stay above this area. You know, if it can close bearish above this area, then, you know, you also have the opportunity to maybe look for impulses on break of this high, or this high is okay. But the safest option, always wait for support. I took this risky dumb trade. Any thoughts on how to improve? Thanks. Okay, yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this chart. Oh, nice. Got a little YouTube thing, HFX there. Thank you very much, Aaron. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. He even put extremely delicate situation. Love that. Okay, so impulse entry, managing risk on the 5 minutes. Okay, so this is within the range, right? So looking for support to be created, then possible re-entry, fake out, close 50%, move stop loss to BE, stopped out. Yeah, I think this was a little bit of a cowboy entry, as we would say. So I think what you could have done better was if you was going to take an impulse entry, this impulse entry was too late. If it was for me on an impulse, you know, like obviously the impulse isn't the best outcome or the best move you could have taken, but if I were to say about impulses, probably would have been over here, because then you had this range to fill. You know, if you're taking buys in the middle of a range, you're limiting your range. You know, this is a very small range. It's not even 10 pips. It's like, you know, 7 pips. But if you took buys over here, then, you know, you could take these buys and put stops to break even over here fairly quickly. So that would have been a good impulse entry. But to give you the best opportunity, you know, ignore what happens here. Wait for price to retrace, create support, exactly. And then, you know, you could look for your TP. You know, one target could be the top of this range. And then you're looking for, can you let a position run above that area to continue? So yeah, probably not a good trade, but you know, every bad trade is a lesson learned. So just take it on the chin, just learn from it and see how you could have done better. And you can see now the 15-minute time frame is coming back below this area. So that's why it's really important to wait for support. Even though this candle closed above, even though this 30-minute candle closed above, we can see now price is coming back below. So I mean, yeah, it could be the 1 hour making a bottom wick, whatever, but we need candles to be closing above. Otherwise buys become very difficult. But yeah, but I like the little background there. Awesome. Plus the 5 minute is, yeah, it's very messy, man. You know, it's very, yeah, it's just, yeah. Anyway, 145 buy above. You can buy above 145 if you want. That's up to you. What are your thoughts on trend lines? I don't really like trend lines. Personally, I don't think that they, I don't think they're any, well, obviously to some extent trend lines like make sense, of course, because, you know, like if we was to draw a trend line over here, you know, what I would be looking at in terms of trend is I would just be looking at, okay, this is the trend, right? But you don't need the trend line to see that, you know, because okay, let me put it this way. Where trend lines don't work is where people are like, okay, well, I'll only look for sells until we break this trend line. Whereas I've seen candles close below, then we get this kind of ranging going on, and then we just head right back up. And people are like, oh man, but it broke the trend line. But it didn't. You know, this isn't a definitive price level that once we break a trend line, we're gonna head down. It doesn't work like that. You know, if you really want to be specific, we can see that because I'll show you an example right over here where it didn't work. Right? Let's say we're over here and we draw the trend to this support. Right? Let's see here. We can see that obviously we had an initial push down. That's fine. So we broke it. We retraced. We had another little push down. But then the whole move got corrected. So if you're looking for this big, okay, well, this is TP1, this is TP2, this is TP3, you know, as people with trend lines do, because they're like, okay, break a structure, I'm going to correct this whole thing. No. Look at the higher time frames. We're so bullish. Weekly is bullish. Monthly is bullish. Daily is bullish. 4 hour. You know, all these things are bullish. You're trying to take sells based on a small structure. This, on the higher time frames, is a liquidity grab. Same with this. It's a liquidity grab. You know, so that's where trend lines don't work. But I mean, look, it's up to you. If you find a way of making them work, then that's great. But you just got to stick to what you see and what you're good at. I'm good at just looking at individual candles, not worried about trend lines, anything like that. Just focusing on key levels, key price levels, where price is closing, you know, that type of thing. So if we do start to break down and this candle starts to close below this area, then there's no buys. There's no buys. You know, it doesn't really make sense. It's a bad price action day. We broke down, we corrected it, and now we're coming back down again. Just, yeah, it's not exactly what we expected. But I mean, we have to remember this could be the 4 hour making a top wick, and this is exactly what I anticipated with the 4 hour. We could leave a massive wick to fill, but we have created resistance on the 4 hour. So, you know, there's always going to be conflicting ideas. So you just have to look at the smaller time frames to like determine what you want to do. Took a dumb trade. Could you see how it could improve? Yes. Every time I go to look at a chart now, I wonder if it's going to be someone trying to draw something inappropriate. Ever since that one guy done it. Ooh, okay. USD JPY 30 minute. I'm gonna have to kind of like zoom out. That's a bit difficult to kind of work out. Okay, so I presume then you took buys based on the fact that we broke and retested. All right, let me take a look at USD JPY. It's gonna be how I can give you proper analysis, because let me put you like this. You know, in terms of labeling, you know, you could do a lot more with labeling. That's already one thing that you can improve on. Like when I label a chart, I'm always looking at, you know, a lot of things go into it. Like it's not just about we're closing above resistance, break and retest. It's not just about that. It's about what's the higher time frame saying, what's the daily saying, where's your targets. You know, if you're just looking from there to there, where's your next target? You know, did you manage risk? Plus stop loss. I mean, that's like a pip. You know, you're gonna get stopped out probably 10 times out of 10 with that type of stop loss. You know, it's way too tight. USD JPY, that's, yeah, it's just crazy. But okay, let's I'll take a look. Let me just zoom back in there, back to normal. If we just go to trading view here, I'll take a look at USD JPY, because you need to be, yeah, I think first of all, improvement wise, you need to be labeling your charts first of all. So where did you take buys? Was it over here? What time was this? It's like 9 AM. No, we want this one. Is that the same chart, or am I bugging out? Oh no, it's the same chart. Okay, so you took buys. Where did you? Alright, let me go back and then see where your entry was. So your entry was at 104,677. 104,677. So you took an entry. So yes, okay. I'll give you a couple points of feedback here. So first of all, you took an entry while a candle had previously closed bearish. Right, let's take a look on the 15-minute. Okay, so you took a buy over here when candle was bearish. The other thing that you also did was you took a buy when we had a 15-minute candle closing as support and we broke the low. Now, usually it works in the other way around, in that when you see a support formed on the 15-minute time frame, you're looking for a break of that high to continue with the trend. So if we're breaking the low, that suggests that we need to come down to this area to create a stronger form of support. So what you should have waited for is, if we go to the 30-minute, is you should have waited. So you should not have traded these two candles, because previous was bearish, so you can't take buys. Next one never created support, or did on the 15-minute but never broke the high, so you still can't take buys. Candle closed bearish, so now at this point you're still waiting, and what you're waiting for is, yes, it's done a retest, so you have that in the back of your mind, but you want to wait for a bullish candle to close at this area. You want to wait for a bullish candle to close at support, creating a support level, and then you're expecting the next one to continue moving up to retest this high and then even break this area, and then your next target at that point would be this next resistance, right? The other thing as well is taking buys over here. Where are you going to place your stop loss? You know, having a stop loss like 1 pip below this level is super risky. You're going to get stopped out pretty much 10 out of 10 times there. So, I mean, yeah, you need to wait for support to form. You know, if you miss this initial push, you need to also see how you could have caught this initial push over here. So you could have caught this initial push by maybe the break of the high. But I know USD JPY has very, how do we say it, bad ranges. You know, this is a 8 pip move on USD JPY. That's a good move, 8 pips. On GJ, I wouldn't even look at it. So you have to remember that. You have to measure your range. You know, when you measure this range, you want to measure the range, so you can say, okay, what's the range? The range is around 13 pips, so that's a good range. So I need to wait for a support, and then I can get the range fill. So yeah, a couple of mistakes, but don't worry, you'll get it eventually. It takes time. But yeah, I hope that helps in terms of feedback. But if you have any more questions, just, yeah, go ahead and ask. It's fine. So yeah, GJ right now, not really anything. Not really making sense. There's no buys, no sells. I mean, yeah, just not the best price action we can say here. So yeah, I mean, if there's no trade today, let me just come back tomorrow. You know how we do. Usually there might be some good volume on Friday as well, because let's say the weekly doesn't do the move up that we anticipated today. I mean, that could mean Friday is going to be setting up nice. But obviously we still got MY and NYC today, and so there's a lot of place for the buys to happen. But right now we've got to wait. Yeah, judging by this price action, you know, it's making me think, okay, maybe just wait till we're above 144.880. Otherwise, it just doesn't really make sense to look for buys, because we're closing back below 144.770. So the only way we could get buys now is if this candle comes up and closes back above the 15-minute high. But, I mean, is it going to do that? Probably not. Thank you. No worries. No worries. Well, at least we got 46 likes on the stream. That's pretty good. So if you haven't liked the stream, please drop a like on the stream. We've been patient here today. We've showed the We've exercised patience. You know, you have to be patient to get paid. I know a lot of people say it, but it's so true. Yeah, GJ is really making us wait today. I'm thinking it's going to be a MY. It's going to be an MY session buys. Obviously, I won't be on the stream then, but I'm thinking that's when we're going to see the move. But hopefully we could even see this 30-minute closing above, and then this down would be looking good. But yeah, I think we'll give it another 15 minutes. We'll wait for this 30-minute candle to close, and then we're going to call it a day on the stream. But yeah, I've set the conditions for what I believe is going to be the trade, and if it comes after the stream, then it is what it is. So gold still ranging. Man, not a lot of volume here today. Euro pairs had some volume, but GU had volume, but GJ not really, not as such. Obviously we had that initial push down, but yeah, didn't really like those sells. But that's okay. We miss moves all the time, and actually missing moves on a regular basis is so key for the long term, because like when I remember when I first started out, I'd always miss big moves and I'd always get frustrated and always be like, man, I missed the move again. You know, but missing the move time and time again, now I don't even give a crap. You know, if I miss it, I miss it. I don't care. So that's it. Like it's such good conditioning for new traders. You know, thinking that you're gonna get your hands on every single move that happens is what's gonna lead to your own failure. But yeah, to be completely honest with you guys, I just want to get this week through. I want to get through this week, and then next week I'm looking forward to adopting, you know, truly a fresh week of you know, my new way, my slightly altered vision, we'll say. But yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that off from next week. You know, really being patient, taking good opportunities, less aggressive entries and stops should work out really well. You know, like I was saying yesterday, like, you know, sometimes we do hinder our own success. You know, it's very true. Like, in terms of my win rate on the stream, you know, yeah, some weeks it's high, like 80%. Other weeks it's less, like 60%. You know, but overall, had I trusted my analysis, trusted in my ability, I mean, I should have had 3 losses in January. That's it. You know, had I have done this new adoptive way. So that's why I'm 100%. You know, made me realize I'm only hindering my own profitability. You know, 2020 was a great year. I think my trading style that I've been doing up to date has, I don't know how to say it, but it's conditioned me as a trader. Taking aggressive entries and stuff, although isn't like necessarily the best thing to do, it comes with experience, and obviously I was experienced with seeing those play out, which is why I took them. But a lot of the time I now have more confidence taking less aggressive entries, because I know there's a higher chance of them working out. So it almost feels better, and a lot of the time we still take good confirmation trades, don't get it wrong, you know, but sometimes, you know, we look for those quick scalps. Like, I mean, if this was me last week, I probably would have been in sales, you know, but it was part of me that just wanted to wait for something that I planned for even the night before. I was always looking for buys. I was always, the bias was bullish last night. I sent the analysis to the group. I said about, if price stays above 144.650, then the bias is bullish. Until we're below there, the bias is bullish. We can't try to, it's too risky trying to take sells. Quick scalps, yeah, it's good, but you have to look at the bigger picture, because so many times have I tried to take sells and got faked out because I'm not going with the trend, the bigger picture. 54 likes, awesome. Thanks very much, everybody. I really appreciate every one of you. Very true, man. Learned the hard way. Very true. Yeah, it's so true, guys. Honestly, missing moves, it creates. It's like being young and not having the nicest clothes, the not nicest car. Like, you condition yourself to value items. You condition yourself to value money and all that type of thing. Because when you get everything you want, including catching every move that you want to get your hands on, it doesn't really teach you. It doesn't really condition you. It doesn't really teach you about life. And missing moves in trading, it teaches you about life. You're gonna miss opportunities. You're gonna miss, things that could have done really well. But that is life, and the quicker you accept that, the more likely you're gonna catch them in the future. And that's the trick. That's the trick. There's two types of people. One will moan that they missed the move, and the other will be like, okay, how could I have caught that for next time? Plan and improve.
I suppose as well, if you're putting that on yourself to only take one trade a day and be so disciplined in that and stick to that one session, then for me personally, that's where I've seen a lot of progress. And yeah, I mean, for you as well. Hopefully, the next 2 weeks, you can do well and get that withdrawal you deserve as well.
100%. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that withdrawal. The whole of 2020, I didn't withdraw, and I think that's something I want to try, because maybe it is a particular thing that I need to do to be able to help the psychology side of things. Really reap a benefit. I had this idea of, okay, just do the same thing every day. Don't focus on the weekly, monthly profits. Don't focus on that. Just focus on performance every day, and then see where you can get. And yeah, I mean, I smashed it. Like, 2020 was a great year for me. Had bad weeks. We all do. But it's part of the process, and that's it. Like, and now I'm at a point where I can even, I think the most important thing is always reviewing your performance. If you truly want to be good at this, you have to look at what you did every day. Not just Mondays, not just on Fridays, or don't bother on Fridays and just do it Monday to Thursday. It's got to be every day. You've got to be consistent. There's no room for error. Being here for 5 minutes after listening to you talk, I fucks with this stream already.
I don't think he can actually say it in the chat. For sure.
I don't know what he's trying
He
to
likes
say.
it though.
I think is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah,
I would have thought so. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Karim. I didn't quite understand what you were trying to say, mate. But yeah, exactly. Like, I just try and guide people with true, what's the word? Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. Like, I'm not gonna say, yeah, you'll be fine. Like, you gotta fucking work your heart. You gotta work your ass off. Most people are gonna tell you that this is easy. Most people are gonna tell you that you can make money trading. Well, most people don't. That's the hard truth. Most people don't. Most people lose money. So it just goes to show the level of work that needs to be put in to be that 10%. So I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you exactly what mentality is required to be part of that 10%. And part of that 10%, they review their trades every day. They always see how they could have done better. They don't talk English. I am English. I might use the odd bit of slang, but there you go. But yeah, it's just important. That mentality, that approach to life and trading, That's how you become one of the 10%. You know, and we've been discussing all day. Everyone, we've been discussing the stream about debt, central banks, you know, and it really boils down to the fact that we as average people, we're always at a disadvantage. You know, like we say, we begin life, we begin our adulthood in debt. You know, we begin our adulthood. Oh, not me. Sorry, I was like, did I say something? Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, like, you know, we're adopted in a certain way when we begin. So we're already behind the line in the race of life. You know, we're already behind the line. We're already at a disadvantage. So we need to work like we're already at a disadvantage, which means working every day. But yeah, I'm not liking this GJ right now. 30 minutes, about to close back below this area. And if that's the case, then this is no longer, you know, anything that we need to be looking at. What pairs do you trade? I trade GJ, sometimes EN, sometimes EJ, and very rarely gold. But I don't trade GU. I'm just kind of looking at it. What I was trying to say is that I enjoy this, mate. Awesome, perfect. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was a bit confused what you're trying to say, but yeah, that's perfect. That's the goal here. You enjoy them, you get value out of them, you get what you want out of it. So yeah, perfect. So looking at the 1 hour count is still open. 4 hour is still open. I'm thinking it's going to be a range till we're in NY. New York session. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, we're going to call it a day here soon, because the candle's coming to a close. There's no sells, there's no buys, no nothing. Oh, I appreciate that. Very nice stream. Appreciate that a lot. But hey, 10 people didn't think so. But I'm glad you guys did. But yeah. All jokes aside. Obviously, I don't really care if people dislike the stream. That's up to them. But obviously, at the end of the day, right, it's the last thing I'm going to say on it. You know, I do appreciate if people just rather say, look, I don't like the way you do this, I don't know why you do that. You know, if they don't like it, just don't come to the stream. It's as simple as that. You know, I'd just rather be here and focus on those who want my time. You know, this is my time at the end of the day. I have one life too. And I'm giving up my time for to help others, you know, for free. I could be doing this all privately just for paid members. You know, I could just be doing that because they paid for that. But no, I want to give back. I want to give to the community. I want to help people. You know, and yeah, like that's it. So, but yeah, so if you like the stream, if you like the discussions today, although we didn't have a trade, I mean, we did call out sells. We did say sells could play out. You know, that's it. If we called out the sells, it was a quick scalp. Did discuss that 650 would be an area of concern, and actually, it just goes to prove that 650 was the area of concern, because we did come below, but we closed at it. So we did close above 144, 650 or 660 really, and obviously that's a big area for concern. But yeah, so awesome. So drop a like on the stream if you've enjoyed today, and yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day here in a minute. We'll do a little round off of all the pairs. We'll answer any final questions, and we'll go from there. Is it a bad idea? Oh, sorry. Don't worry about it. Even Jesus had haters. That's a great point. I like that one. I like that one a lot. In fact, Jesus got killed for his beliefs, and I mean, yeah. So that's a good one. I'm gonna remember that one. Is it a bad idea to not use losses? Oh, sorry. Is it a bad idea not to use stop losses for non-scalpers? I think it's a bad idea for anybody not to use a stop loss. And yeah, it's a bad idea for anybody not to use a stop loss. I mean, I'll tell you why. And the one reason why is because, let's say I'm in a buy over here, and let's say I don't use a stop loss, and let's say an announcement comes in to say that Boris Johnson's died. I don't know, just an example. If Boris Johnson's dies, you're going to see about, I'd say, a good 200, 300 pip move on the pound, whether it's up, down, whatever. If you're in that trade and that happens and you didn't put a stop loss, that's your fault, right? I know Kelsey will remember the day that I had a full stop loss hit within a split second when a Brexit announcement came out.
Oh yeah.
You know, if I didn't use a stop loss, that would have been 3-4 months of grind down the drain. That candle moved about 80 to 100 pips against me. And there was some people that day that actually even had their stop losses slipped, let alone hit. So no matter if you're a swing trader, a day trader, a scalper, a hyper scalper, always use a stop loss. Always use a stop loss. In fact, I've just come up with a new print for a hat. Always use a stop loss. There you go. We'll send you a hat so you can remember. But no, all jokes aside, yeah, always use a stop loss, mate. Always use a stop loss. You know, the one time, trust me, the one time you think I won't bother is the one time it can all go wrong. Don't worry about if you hear an experienced trader saying, oh, I didn't use a stop, I used a manual stop. That's up to them. You know, remember, we're all individuals. So in principle, it's a dumb idea. You know, whether your mentor does it, whatever, you know, you need to understand that that's completely up to them. Because if it went wrong, they would sit there and say, that was my fault. I should have placed a stop loss because I should have known what I was willing to lose or willing to risk. So yeah, always use a stop loss.
Last thing you want as well is, you know, it's shooting up in the opposite direction. Then you want to hold it, hoping it'll come back, and then it just continues.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, I've heard of that one. You know, yeah, 100%. Obviously, I mean,
get magic keys.
Yeah, just get magic keys. Use a or just use a stop loss, and I mean, yeah, just use a stop, and then you haven't got to worry about that. I mean, if you get slipped with a stop loss, then you contact your broker, you know, and they deal with that from there. But if you don't use a stop loss, you can't beg for your money back. Just remember that. There's no way, there's no way you're going to be able to get that money back. That's gone. You've lost it. So yeah, always use a stop loss. But yeah, guys, so thanks everyone for coming on today. So yeah, I think we had a good discussion, good session today. Obviously, no trade for me, but I think it's been another character building week. Honestly, I think it has. You know, we started to see volume coming back, which is key, because if volume is starting to come back, that means next week should be better, week after even better, and we can end this month really strong. But we still got tomorrow, because if Thursday is not moving well, that means typically Friday we could see some volume. So we'll keep it in mind. I don't usually trade on Fridays, but actually recently a lot of good moves I've been seeing have been happening on Fridays, but we'll just keep it in the back of our mind. Only strong confirmation trades anyway, so it's not like, okay, we're going to be taking aggressive entries on a Friday. I'm not doing that now. But yeah, let's do a little round off here. So gold is ranging. It does seem like it wants to break down below these wicks. So once gold starts breaking below like 1841, 170, I think it's an opportunity for it to continue down. We do have a clean move coming down, so I think 1836 is going to be a good target, or even 1837 to be a little bit more conservative. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, I think it should continue moving down. I mean, if you look at this actual range, we had a weak bullish candle close. We're breaking the lows. 1 hour time frame, broken the low of the 1 hour. Yeah, I think gold could continue down, but be careful, because obviously gold is very liquid. You know, it can wick down and come back bullish. So be careful with impulse entries. You know, maybe wait for solid candle closes. You know, and then yeah, kind of go off that. So maybe wait for this 15-minute candle to close, see if it can close below these wicks, and then, you know, you can anticipate that gold should continue with direction. But yeah, that gold is just so tough, man. Honestly, so difficult.
Yeah, hi, Sam.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just want to mention something about gold. Like, if you go on a 30-minute and if you just zoom out a little bit, you can see that there is like a massive range between 1834 and 1844. I mean, you could say like it might be safe to take buys once we close above 1844, but we have like rejections. Like we had 2 week rejections within that zone. So I'd say definitely good buys would be above 1846.
Mm.
And to be safe, I'd say wait for the news to come in at 1:30. So then
Yes.
obviously we're probably going to see some liquidity grab, and then we're going to see if numbers came bad, then obviously just keep an eye on the 1846 to take buys.
Yeah.
Just want to.
Yeah, 100%. I think Salim's right because, I mean, see, the thing is okay. If we look at this zone, yeah, this is going to be a rejection zone. This is going to be an area where we could have some issues. So usually, if we look at this whole area, this candle tried to come up, couldn't close above. This candle also tried to come up, couldn't close above. These candles all tried to come up above this area, couldn't close above. So I suppose if you did get a close above, you're anticipating that, you know, these rejections should get like well, no longer there, you know, because you have the volume at that point to continue up. But if you take buys over here, right, my advice would be to secure something over here, because this is a potential rejection. Exactly what Salim was saying. But if you're someone that wants to be safe, what you could do is let price do its thing here, if it consolidates, and then wait for either support to form over here, somewhere over here, to retest this high, or wait for like structure, you know, like we could come up here, bounce over here, come back, form support, and then you could say, okay, now since we formed support, we could continue the move up and then break through this area and then continue on at that point. So I think that's a good play there for gold. But right now, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of ranging, so there's no move. Obviously, it could be ranging for news, so also keep that in mind. So yeah, 100%. Salim's spot on. So obviously GJ, yeah, not really doing anything until we're above 1488. Euro JPY. Euro JPY is trying to create support over here. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, Euro JPY is creating support. We have a high to retest. That's something that could work, but it's probably not a lot of range. Nah, it's like 6 pips. Let's take a look at Euro NZD. So Euro NZD still hasn't created a 30-minute support in this range. So if I was looking for buys on Euro NZD, I would want to wait for a 30-minute candle or even the 1 hour. You want to be taking stronger confirmation time frame candles, and then you have a nice 30 pip range. And then lastly, GU. Yeah, just mess. I don't even know how to begin to say GU, because we rejected this area. Now. We have support literally over here. The only thing I would say is we've created resistance, so we could retest this low. But then it's only like 9 pips, 10 pips. So probably not, probably not enough range there. 15-minute candle close, but yeah, it's just messy, man. Messy. So, without further ado, we're going to call it a day there now. So, thank you everybody for coming on the stream. Thanks everyone on the Zoom chat. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow. We don't have a guest for tomorrow, which is fine. We'll just we'll just have a chilled sesh, and then we'll get a guest on next Friday. And you guys can, you know, talk. Send me who you may want, but yeah, we'll see. So, thanks everyone. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.
I think Gorilla. Is it Gorilla Forex?
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
be good.
Oh yeah, Gorilla Strike.
I like his stuff.
Oh yeah. He was meant to come on actually, so I might give him.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, I might give him a message for next week. Yeah, try and get him on next week. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Thanks very much. See you guys on the YouTube.